Hey guys, this is Marina. Today we're jumping on a call with a productivity guru and a YouTuber who I've been watching for a while now. His name is Ali Abdaal. Ali has 1.5 million followers on YouTube, a paid community, a live course, multiple pre-recorded courses, and he's also active on other social media. So today I want to ask him all about his team, how he stays focused, and what daily tasks he delegates. Let's do it. Thank you so much for joining me today. I've been watching your channel for, I think, the past 6 months, and I was so excited when my friend took your course and we're like chatting about you. So yeah, thank you so much.
Nice. Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah, first question, when are you moving to LA? Because I was so excited when you said about that, and I was like, yay, another YouTuber in California.
Yeah. I don't think realistically I'm actually going to end up moving. I think my plan this time last year was that, hey, wouldn't it be cool to do medicine in the US? But in that time, I've been rethinking kind of my life priorities and figuring out what do I actually want from life. And I feel like going to the US, which takes like 2 years of exams, 4 years of residency, for the promise of like more work and less money than I make as a YouTuber, it just feels like not the best decision. And
but do you think as a YouTuber, you could come to LA as well?
I think, yeah, that's the plan. I'd love to come to visit for a little bit. So especially now that Biden has reversed Trump's Muslim travel ban, I'm now allowed back into the US, which means I can visit LA and like SF and these other cool places.
Yeah, but you don't see yourself living here as an influencer?
Probably not. I don't like the idea of being like a influencer / creator as like my main gig. I like the idea of doing like a lot of different things, each of which are like side hustles in themselves.
And how would you describe yourself now? So you wouldn't say Ali Abdaal, the influencer or YouTuber. What would you say?
Yeah, I kind of describe myself as usually as a doctor plus YouTuber.
So it's still your full-time is your day-to-day?
Not really. So it's a bit complicated because I've taken a break from medicine, which is what a lot of doctors do after 2 years. And I intended to travel the world and like do some medicine in Australia and stuff. But then the pandemic put a whole stop to that. And so right now I'm in this weird like middle ground where I'm not working as a doctor. And so I am kind of a full-time YouTuber. But it's like a temporary break from being a doctor rather than a permanent one. And so it just feels a little bit weird.
Do you think so once this is over, are you going to go back to being a full-time doctor?
Probably not full-time. I don't think anything is fun as a full-time job. I want to be a part-time doctor, a part-time YouTuber, part-time writer, part-time teacher. I just like the idea of doing lots of different things part-time.
Yeah, but also like yesterday we were in Clubhouse together, and I really like that you're still, you know where your focus is at, because like a couple weeks ago, we were in Russia for 5 months, then we came back to Silicon Valley, and I felt so overwhelmed with like people around me doing so many cool things, appearing on TechCrunch front page or like launching apps that will compete with Clubhouse, etc. And you're like, I found myself being all over the place in the past 2 weeks. And I really like that yesterday you said like, yeah, Clubhouse is cool, but this is not my priority. But it still feels like you have so much on your plate these days. How do you focus on so many things?
Yeah, this has been a real struggle recently. The main thing that I've been focusing on is that I'm working on a book, and it's, you know, when I got into the project, I thought, oh, how hard can it be? I can type 2,000 words a day. I can get a whole draft finished in 1 month. And then I've realized actually writing a book is quite hard, especially if you want it to be good. And so that's what's taking up the bulk of my thinking time. But I think the nice thing now is that I've got a team of 7 other people helping me out with all my various endeavors. And so all of the things that I'm doing is very much a team effort. And so for videos, mostly all I have to do is just sit in front of a camera and talk, and everything else gets taken care of. So it just automatically frees up so much of my time.
And you still do them in bulks? Like I've seen your video where you were talking that you would do like 7 videos a day. Is that the same these days?
It's 7 videos a day is aspirational. Okay. Recently it's been 1 at a time. And it's
I try to do 6 sometimes for another channel. Wow. Because it's not like event-based. It's where I teach people English or I tell them how to pronounce things in English. And you don't really, there is no context. You just talk about things. But for this channel, you need to be up to date with what's going on in the world.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, I think my dream would be just sitting down and once a month filming 8 videos in a row. So far that's happened once in my life, and I'm trying to get to making the system so that happens more often. And
how does the process look like with your videos? Do you sit down and do 2 videos a day for the whole week, or?
It feels very frantic. It's like we've got a sponsored video deadline on Wednesday, and all right, let's film the video on Monday, and we've got another video coming out on Sunday. Be like, okay, probably film that on Thursday. Now we've got another video coming out next week. I'd love to film that this week so I can be a week ahead, but realistically it's not going to happen. And I think the problem right now is that we're in the middle of one of our live cohorts for my part-time YouTuber Academy. And so every day there's like live events on, and I've actually just gone off 3 hours worth of live teaching about being a part-time YouTuber. And so in the midst of all this, I've not been making the time to actually just sit down and do that deep work of just filming video after video. So I need to get better at managing my calendar.
Do you have a schedule for your channel?
Yeah, we try and upload on Wednesdays and Sundays. And so that usually works out. So that's kind of what, yeah.
And so your first, you said you film the video, you send everything to your editor. Do you publish yourself, or do you have someone helping you with that?
Oh, the editor deals with everything. It's great. I don't have to think about it once it's filmed. He sends me a sort of first draft using Frame.io, and then I give feedback, and then he just uploads. And I usually do the thumbnail there and then. And I usually edit it because I like to ramp up the vibrance and everything in editing for the thumbnails. So I send him the thumbnail on Slack, send him the files via Google Drive, and he takes care of the rest of it. So it's a huge load off my shoulders.
So he does description, hashtags, all of that, right?
Yeah.
And what about the title?
Title, we usually decide before we film the video. And so usually we've got a Notion page where me and my team have sort of brainstormed like 10 title ideas. And usually before filming, I'll know what the title will be. And so I build it in Notion. So
I tried to incorporate that, never works. Because then in the video, I start talking about different things and I realize I can't really title it that way. But that's cool of you.
Yeah, I have that problem sometimes but I've found that the more I think about the title in advance, the more targeted the video feels. And I feel like it makes a better video, at least for me. So
it is true. It's absolutely true. It's just my head is exploding during the video. So you have your editor. Who else do you have? You mentioned 7 people, right?
Yeah. So we've got editor. We've got one guy who's sort of like my right-hand man. He started off as a writer and now he's just become a general project manager / producer for the channel. I've got a personal assistant who's also helping out with various things. We've got 2 other writers, and we have 1 new assistant editor, and we have 1 kind of research assistant for the book who is part-time.
Wow.
There's like 6 full-timers and 1 part-time.
Amazing. So you have like a company in the UK and you set everything around that, right?
Yeah, that's right. 2 of the editors are in Romania and 1 of the writers is in Poland, but everyone else is UK based.
Nice. I love that. And what do the writers do? Do they come up with scripts for you, or you tell them like research this, and this for me?
Yeah, so the writers have been a relatively recent hire, just like last month. I wanted to take my website much more seriously because I think, website we've been kind of not really paying very much attention to. And so the main job of the writers is to write kind of blog posts for the website, either based off of videos that I've already done or based on new topics. And it's cool. Like we knew that like next week we've got a video that I need to film called How to Get Started with Investing in Bitcoin or something like that.
Oh, nice.
And it was nice because one of the writers is super into crypto. And so he was going to write an article about it. And so by combining the fact that he's writing the article and I'm doing the video, we're like sharing our research, which is nice.
Mm-hmm. And how do you feel about incorporating all of those different topics in one channel? Because you're mostly like productivity guy, right? And then you had this admission stuff, and now if you're starting like investing, because what I feel, I started like investing topic on my channel just because I'm so passionate about it and I started doing it myself, but it tends to underperform compared to other topics.
Yeah, it's that constant balance of like how much do you stay in your lane versus how much do you kind of break free of the cages of being the productivity guy. I was chatting to Thomas Frank about this the other day as well. He feels very boxed into being the patron saint of productivity, and anytime he does something else, it feels like, oh my God, people are expecting productivity.
Yeah.
I think the way I think of it is like the sort of YouTuber I want to be is the sort of YouTuber who can just sit down and talk about anything. And the general through line that I like to have is like the spiel that I say sometimes at the start of my videos is, on this channel, we explore the strategies and tools to help us live healthier, happier, more productive lives. And that's like very broad. Health, happiness, productivity, it covers everything. You can tie everything into that. Whether it's like lifelong learning or fitness or health or investing, it all comes under this bucket of happier, healthier, more productive lives. And initially, the first video I did on investing, I thought it would be a risk. But that video has done really, really, really well. And so now I'm like, great, people resonate with investing as a topic. Let's do more of that. Okay,
then it makes sense to continue. And what do you feel when the video is underperforming? When the numbers aren't good.
I feel like, oh my God, I might as well end my life right now. I don't think of that at all. When you see a 10 out of 10.
Oh yeah, all the time. Like I started texting my managers, like, "What should we do? Shall we change the thumbnail once again, or should we come up with a different title?" All the time. Yeah, but yesterday again, you mentioned that you're focusing on just getting, becoming happy through the process and not paying attention to the end result. But it seems like you're still like paying attention to numbers. Right?
Oh yeah, it's a lot. The place I aspire to be is where I can upload a video and then forget about it. In reality, where I am is upload a video, look at the analytics. Oh crap, it's 7 out of 10. Oh shit, my life might as well end right now. Okay, let's try and cool. Let's change the title up. Let's make it a bit more clickbaity. Design it. But
it doesn't really work, right? When you do that, it goes up to 6 or 5, but it never goes like to 1.
I don't know. I've had a few videos where it's gone from 10 out of 10 to 1 out of 10 off the back of a title change.
Wow, interesting. Do you remember which video?
Yeah, so there was one called "How Writing Online Changed My Life," and that was solid 10 out of 10. And then I changed it to "How Writing Online Made Me a Millionaire," and then it just ascended the ranks, and now it's 1 out of 10.
Interesting. Wow.
And I feel so dirty about it because it's such a clickbait title, but it did really well.
Yeah. So what do you think? How many clickbaity titles can you allow per month on your channel?
I don't know. The more I stretch this, the more I think clickbait is good, because all of my best performing videos are kind of clickbaity. But I think it's something that Hank Green says, which I really resonate with, is that it's only clickbait if the audience doesn't get value from the video. And so I think as long as they're getting value from the video, I might as well ramp up the clickbaitiness. And in a way, I think if you can do it as sort of as a joke, where like I like to put insanely productive, like my insanely productive Valentine's Day. And my core fans know that I'm taking the piss, like this is a joke, but new people will come into the channel because of the title. So I think there's that good balance between fans knowing that you're just joking, whereas other people thinking you're being serious.
Interesting. And do you get hate for that? Like,
Not really. I won't call it hate. There's a few comments being like, "Hey, there was no productive in the title. What's going on? Ali, everything okay?" It's just kind of funny.
And do you get like people who get nasty in the comments? Like, I don't know, just I saw you like laughing on some comments on Twitter and like being sarcastic about that. But do you get a lot of those?
Very few. I partly wish I got more of them because they're always funny to screenshot and post on Twitter or on Instagram story. It's good content. But actually, last week I stumbled across a thread on Tattle. I don't know if you come across that forum.
No.
It's like some like celebrity gossip forum where they have like a whole thing about influencers and where people post mean comments about influencers. And I've got like a 9-page thread where people are literally just posting mean things about me. And that was different. That made me feel quite bad. I think because, and I guess this is true for you as well, if you get a mean comment on a YouTube video, you're so used to it that it's like, oh, whatever. But if you get like a mean comment on like a website devoted for people writing mean comments about people.
And they spend like time researching what you're doing. I have the same website, but it's in Russian. And they would like, I looked at it a couple months ago. They watch every single step that I make and then judge it. And I'm like, wow, there are people who spend like 2 or 3 hours per day just looking at what I do and like trying to reverse everything. What did you feel like? Have you thought of cutting back the content they were commenting on, or what were your feelings?
Oh, mostly, I don't think it's going to change my behavior in the slightest. A lot of the comments were unfounded. A lot of it was like, oh, this guy's selling snake oil because he's charging money for a course. Oh. There were a few comments that were like from people apparently who, like, they were patients at my local hospital and I'd been their doctor. And a few of those comments were a bit weird. I don't want to say weird. A few of those comments made me feel kind of bad. One of them was that, I recognized him from Instagram when he walked in through my doors and I thought, wow, what a dickhead. Another comment said that he's much more quiet and awkward in real life than he is in his videos. Another comment said, I wouldn't want him to be my doctor because he's too open about his personal life. And it's those sorts of things where I was like, oh, this internet career is now starting to have a little bit of an effect on my real life and on my working life. And that feels a bit, I don't know.
Are you like talking to specialists about it, or what? How do you deal with that? Because sometimes I feel like I'm overwhelmed. Sometimes I feel like I don't care. It really depends on my mental state on a day when I get a comment.
I just generally talk to my housemate about it, and she acts as my personal therapist, so it's nice.
Mm-hmm. Nice. So it's nice, and it's nice that you don't get a lot of those. Cool. And can we get back to like your project? So you have your YouTube channel, you have your course, you're writing a book. What else?
I've got a podcast that I do each week with my brother, and that's fun. And then, website, newsletter.
Yeah.
I think that's about it.
Newsletter, is it like a Substack newsletter or?
It's hosted on Review. I started it before Substack was a thing, but we're moving over to ConvertKit.
Is it free?
It's free, yeah.
Is it?
So weekly,
and how often
newsletter.
does it go out?
Every Sunday. We call it Sunday Snippets. It's just like the classic, here are some links, here are some books I've been reading, and here are some random thoughts about my life.
So the writer helps you with that, right? Or is it you?
It's actually my assistant who now helps me with that. We have a call on Saturdays, and she says, right, what are we writing about in the newsletter? I say, okay, I'm reading this book and this article and this book, can you mention that? And so it's a pretty seamless process of putting it together.
Mm-hmm. And you also have live streams. I was surprised you actually delete them, because the one with Justin Khan was really nice, and then it just disappeared.
Oh,
what is your strategy there with the
so live streams? The issue with live streams is we always lose subscribers. Like I lose about 50 subscribers every time I do a live stream.
Okay.
And
at the time of recording, right? You just see the
when I look on analytics, like minus 50 subs for every live stream.
Interesting.
I think the value in live streams is what we're doing now is we're trying to convert a sort of 90-minute live stream into a proper YouTube video that has like snippets from the live stream. And so the reason we put them as unlisted is because I don't want people to then watch the whole interview and then feel like they're getting a repeat content. Whereas,
but is it so Justin Khan is coming out as a separate video, or is it just gonna?
Yeah, so his is gonna come out as probably a video incorporated into a video about entrepreneurship, and probably incorporated into videos about like meditation and yoga at some point when I do those. But then we're also kind of turning them into clips, kind of like what Joe Rogan does with his clips, and putting it on my second channel. So that's like our strategy for live streams these days.
And why don't you want to post the interview itself, like the whole thing, on the channel?
Partly because we post it on Nebula, which is like this other platform that my agency of YouTubers is kind of building. And that's like a paid product for the whole interview. That's partly why. Partly because it like clogs up the feed of the main channel. I don't like the aesthetic of the live streams. And partly because I kind of like having a backlog of content that we can kind of take bits from without feeling as if we're rehashing content people have already seen.
Got it. Okay. Any other projects in mind? Because this already seems like a lot.
I feel like that broadly covers it. I mean, I'm learning how to freestyle rap these days. I'm taking art lessons.
Nice.
Yeah, for whatever that's worth.
And you mentioned that you aspired to build a tech company when you were younger. Do you still have this dream, or you think you're going to stay focused on content creation?
Not really. So when I was in medical school, I built like a sort of SaaS type thing, a question bank for medical applicants. So me and my brother were quite into coding, so I did the back end, he did the front end, and it was kind of fun project that we did for a few years. And that was reasonably profitable, and I think that was my kind of box ticked of I want to make something in tech. If I could make the next Twitch or the next, I don't know, Clubhouse, I probably would. But it's not on, like, when I think of my life in the future, I don't think of myself as being a founder. I think of myself as being like, you know, someone like Cal Newport, who like writes books and also is a teacher and a professor at university and just has a bit of an online profile. Like that's the vibe that I kind of aspire to.
Interesting. And do you get anxious hearing about people building Clubhouse and other platforms, and you're like,
I couldn't care less. People can do whatever they want on the tech thing.
Really? Okay.
Or do you get anxious, people building Clubhouse and things?
Okay, if we put it into like a YouTuber kind of field or creator field, do you feel anxious about people doing so many things and you're not having time to do them or not even thinking about them?
No, not really. I think if I was entrenched in the startup ecosystem, then I probably would. But because I'm not, because I'm so far away from it, now I just like, whatevs. Oh, cool, there's a new app. Great, I'll browse Product Hunt once a month and just see what's new out there. But I think kind of I've realized this recently. I was working with a productivity coach, and one of the questions he asked me at the start of our sessions was, what do you want written on your gravestone? And I was like, oh, okay, it's a big question. And I realized that what I want written on my gravestone is some combination of good dad, good husband, and inspirational teacher. And that was kind of surprising. I realized that like my whole, like the thing that brings me the most fulfillment and meaning is teaching. And so I'd love to do teaching en masse. And for example, like I aspire to be like Tim Ferriss because he teaches people at scale with his books and podcasts and stuff. But I don't really aspire to be the next Justin Khan or the next, I don't know, Jack Dorsey or anything like that.
That's great that you understand where you're heading at. And did you get Tim Ferriss on your show or not yet?
Not yet. He's like the pinnacle of people that I want to have at some point.
How does it feel? Like yesterday we also talked about like being a fan and being a peer. And when you really want to talk to a person, but you realize you're a fan yet, and you have to like accomplish more. Do you feel intimidated, or do you feel like, oh, maybe it's too early to reach out? What's your strategy there?
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't feel I have anyone that I actually really want to talk to. Like Tim Ferriss has been the person who's most changed my life, other than my mum and grandma. But like, I don't really feel the need to talk to him. I'd be perfectly content if I never got to talk to Tim Ferriss. It's just kind of fun. It just feels like a bit of an adventure that, hey, this guy doesn't do many interviews. Can I somehow get him on my YouTube channel and be his friend? Because I'd like to be friends with him, but I don't really care about kind of doing the
Nice. It's like
thing.
a game.
Yeah, it's kind of like a game. It's like, okay, cool. Let's just see if this will work.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I like your approach. With the new social media appearing, like TikTok, Clubhouse, you said you try something and then see whether you like it or not, or whether it performs or not. Like, what is the strategy there?
I don't really have a strategy there. I feel like I probably should. Honestly, like the main thing I'm thinking about right now is that my kind of 3-year plan is that I really want my book to be successful and I really want it to be a bestseller. And so everything that I do, I feel I want to optimize for that. And so right now that involves writing a really good book. And in the future, that's going to involve pointing all of the marketing firepower towards pre-ordering and first week sales so we can try and get on a bestseller list. Being active on Clubhouse.
That could help. Or TikTok. That could help.
Possibly would help. But I feel like being active on like website and Twitter and YouTube and mailing list in particular is more... That feels like a clearer way to get towards book sales in the future than being active on Clubhouse. And so given that my time is limited and I feel like right now I just want to put my head down and write a really good book, Clubhouse feels like a little bit of a distraction.
Yeah. And how much time do you spend working per day?
Basically 24/7.
24/7.
I don't really call it work. I guess it is work. I'm basically on the computer doing something work related every waking hour until like 10 p.m. But I don't really think of it as work.
Well, yeah.
So,
it's like,
yeah.
Or doing things. And how much of sleep do you get every night?
Oh, 8 hours. I like getting 8 hours of sleep. Nice. I was up until 1:30 last night reading a book, and I was meant to have a team meeting at 9:00 with my team. And I realized, hang on, I'm the boss. I can do what I want. So I just messaged them on Slack saying, guys, let's forget the team meeting. You can message me if you need anything. So I had a bit of a lie-in, which was nice.
Nice.
One question I've got for you, like what's your, how do you figure out what like your medium-term strategy is for your various endeavors?
That's a great question. So again, for me, the main focus is to enjoy the process, because otherwise I just start hating my everyday life. So I don't think I have any goals in terms of like numeric goals. It's just what I'm trying to do is that I get distracted by a lot of things. I don't know if it's just me or being in Silicon Valley. And I realized that whenever I'm distracted with something that's coming out, I would incorporate that in my existing company instead of starting something else. Because before that, I would just, start this company and start this because I have a coder team and we would do this and that. And now I'm like trying to limit the amount of companies or projects that I'm exposed to. And I'm trying to delegate a lot of things. Like I haven't created any single video for TikTok. I just asked my team to repurpose my videos and I have 1.3 million followers there.
Bloody hell. How do you do that?
They just take my videos and they cut them into like 30-second clips with subtitles and they just post them and somehow they take off. I don't know. I don't know how that works. But yeah, this is TikTok's algorithm.
Because that's kind of what we're trying for my TikTok, but we haven't started it yet. Any guidance on that? Like what sort of clips do they take from your videos?
It's all about like clickbait as well. Like we mostly focus on learning English and sounding like working on your accent and how to sound like an American. 30-second clip. People love it. Or top 10 phrases that you need to know to do this, and that. Okay. Or like English in my car. So something really basic, like a magic pill. This is what people, I guess that's what they're looking for on YouTube, and that's what they're looking for on other social media. In terms of like educational content, this is what I feel, at least.
Nice. That's really cool.
Yeah, you should try it.
What does your team look like?
Oh, I have a 35 people team.
35 people?
Yeah, because
Bloody hell.
Again, we have this course and we have it in 2 languages, and we have tutors there, and we have a marketing team. I have 2 editors, 2 thumbnail designers, 2 managers, 1 TikTok. I have a Bilibili. I don't know if you know, it's Chinese YouTube. Oh. And I have 2 people who do subtitles and post everything in Chinese for me. So it's just, I feel that I'm doing a lot, but also like I'm losing focus sometimes. And even if you have a team, you still need to be present. And now I'm thinking of like starting an email newsletter.
Yeah, might as well.
How do I do that?
Handle it for you.
Yeah. It's just I feel sometimes I'm all over the place, and I'm trying to learn from people like you.
So when you say you've got like 2 thumbnail designers, is that like 2 full-time jobs as thumbnail designers?
Oh, no. It's like I pay them per thumbnail. It's just they're working with us, and they're also working for another team, LinguaTrip. So we just use them all the time. But they're just different people. The one guy's super creative, another guy's super minimalist. So I just need both of them. Maybe you could also share some other life hacks. Like you said, I think it was on Instagram yesterday, that you outsource your laundry.
Yeah.
What else do you outsource in day-to-day life? Because I know entrepreneurs who basically outsource even like packing for trips. I'm not yet there because I don't know how to do that. But like, what do you outsource?
So about a year ago, I hired a personal assistant, which was great because now she does like basically whatever I want her to. So, for example, I booked some flights to go to Pakistan, but then they got cancelled because of the lockdown, and I needed to get the refunds. And normally this would have involved me being on hold with some shitty airline for like a solid hour. But I just said to Elizabeth, "Hey Elizabeth, can you sort these refunds out?" She was like, "Sure." And then she's on hold with the airline while she's doing other things, and it just something that I just don't have to deal with. The other thing I really liked is, for example, when I've got a friend who's got like a medical exam coming up, and I can say to Elizabeth, "Hey, can we send that person some flowers, and here's the message I want written."
Nice.
And Elizabeth will do the flower order and send it to them, and then that person will be like, "Oh my God, this is so good." And I didn't have to do any of the manual labor other than just asking Elizabeth to do it. So it's just like little things like that are surprisingly nice to outsource.
Yeah.
This sounds so like privileged and spoiled. Apologies to anyone listening.
But she's so Elizabeth also manages your like work life and your personal life, right?
Yes.
She's doing both. How does she feel about it? Because sometimes I get people like, I'm also looking for a new personal assistant right now. And people like, and this is something that I get a lot, like I post a job opening and people like, "Oh, you're taking personal life away from other people. You're asking them to do this and that. And you have to kind of have a dedicated person for like business tasks and dedicated person for personal tasks."
Yeah, that's interesting. So she says that she enjoys it. She's recently started a YouTube channel.
I've seen her video about like her day in life helping you.
Yeah. So she says that she quite enjoys it. And being my personal assistant has unlocked lots of interesting areas of like growth and opportunity for her as well. And now she's like very involved in the business side of things with our YouTuber Academy, and she loves the community support side of that. She also really enjoys replying to fan mail. Like if someone emails with like a problem about their exams, she's the one who will reply being like, "Hey, Ali's done a course. Hi, this is Elizabeth, Ali's assistant. He's done a video about this topic. Here's a link." Wow. And it's just like things like that make her feel good because she enjoys helping people.
She gets back to every single email? Because I guess there are a lot of them.
She used to. She doesn't anymore now that our course is like taking over our lives. But for a while, she was replying to every email, even random, "Bro, what keyboard do you have?" She would send them a link and
nice.
Things like that.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I think what's interesting is that I don't think there is a clear separation between business and personal. There's this guy called Michael Hyatt who's written a book about like working with a personal assistant, which is really good. In that he talks about this thing that like, let's say you're some big shot executive at a company, and let's say they give you a personal assistant. would it be fair to ask that personal assistant to do your dry clean, to sort out your dry cleaning for your personal life? And some people say no, that's not fair because that's a personal thing. But like if you as the executive, if you're spending an hour driving downtown to get your dry cleaning sorted, that's an hour you're not spending doing business stuff. And so in a way, the more time you can save on the personal bit, the more time you can give the business if that's what you want. But also, if you have that free time to literally just sit down and do nothing, that is also probably ROI positive for your business. Exactly, and so that's kind of how I think about it. Like I don't really see a separation between business and personal as such.
Yeah, I try doing that, but it's always a mix with my personal assistant. Yeah, interesting. And I think one of like my last questions are around the projects that you're going to be launching. So is there any other plans for another YouTube course or another course in general, or you're going to continue with like Skillshare and
we have like 5 or 6 courses that are always in the pipeline at any given time. So like next month we're doing a course on productivity for creators on Skillshare. This month, damn, it's March already. And then in April we're doing like a YouTube for beginners course, and then in May we're doing another productivity like tech type course, and then in June we have another cohort of our YouTuber Academy. I've got a course that I filmed with a friend about how to play jazz piano. So we're thinking, do we release that? It's a bit weird. Wow. We just stick it on Skillshare, might as well. So there's always like courses are one of those things where I feel like often it's just as difficult to film a whole course as it is to film like 1 or 2 YouTube videos. Because when you're filming a course, you actually don't have to worry about titles and thumbnails for your lessons. You can just say the stuff. Whereas when you're filming a YouTube video, there's so much like extra stuff that goes into it. So I find filming a course to be like quite a relaxing way to spend a Saturday.
It takes you one day to do the whole course?
Yeah, mostly. Like if it's like 20 videos, we can easily do that in one day.
Well, I just did a course on like how to become a YouTube manager, and it took me 4 months.
4 months? Why did it take so long?
Because, well, I was in Russia and I had to go to a studio to record everything, and I couldn't go every day. And then I had to work on the scripts as well and record like screencasts and like talk about analytics and stuff. So it's not like me just talking naturally about things that I do, but also exploring other parts of things that I think people should know. Yeah,
I feel like the more technical it is, the more complicated. The more complicated it is to film the videos.
It was a really complicated course, and I don't think I'm going to be doing something similar in the next year or so, taking a break. And having so many courses, so you market them primarily through your social, right? Or do you do other stuff as well?
Most of my courses are just on Skillshare. So Skillshare is nice and easy. I don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
For our YouTuber course, that's the first proper one that we've done. And so we're mostly marketing that through socials. We've recently built like a 7-day free email lead magnet type situation.
So you're going to do like Facebook targeting that will lead them into a funnel?
I hope we wouldn't have to. I hope we've got enough warm leads that we don't need to do paid ads, but it's an option. In a dream world, we'd have like the dream funnel with the paid targets, the organic, everything into a funnel, lead magnets, blah, conversion. That would be the dream.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something that I was able to do in Russia, but not with my English language course. Yeah, mostly don't do anything. The team handles everything. And my last question, have you ever had this feeling that you want to stop doing your YouTube thing and focus on something else, like maybe the book? Do you feel that it's distracting or not that rewarding as it used to be?
Not really, actually. Like there are very few times where I think I want to, like I don't think I've ever had a time where I feel I want to quit YouTube or slow down. I think the main reason for this is that if I look at the people that like I aspire to be more like, so people like, I don't know, Tim Ferriss, Ryan Holiday, Cal Newport, Mark Manson, these people who have like big books and are known online for their good content. All of these guys are trying to get into YouTube. And when I think that, I'm already in YouTube and I'm trying to get into writing, it just seems like a total no-brainer. Plus, I enjoy making videos. I think I'm good at making videos. I love the sound of my own voice. So it feels like video is just a great platform to be in, where I have so many unfair advantages already that other people are trying to get to. Yeah. And so it's just fun.
Yeah, I love how this year all the VCs and all the investors have started their YouTube channels, and I can be helpful. That is great. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. That was really useful. I'm impressed with how much you do and how much you read. I also need to get back to reading.
I have a question for you, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
So one of the questions that I've been asking people for research for my book is the question that, what do you enjoy about your work? Like, what is it about what you do that makes it fun?
I think the most rewarding thing is meeting people all over the world and getting and them saying to me that, you changed my life, or I got into Berkeley because I watched your videos, or I got into Stanford because I watched your videos. I started a company. I moved to the States. I did this, and that. And you're like guiding me through the whole process with your videos without knowing that. I think that's the most rewarding thing, like helping people make their lives better, either through teaching them a language or telling them how to get a new job or telling them how to get financial aid from a university. Because I've switched from a lot of different topics on YouTube. I was just jumping from one to another. And it looks like this has been helping people. That's the most rewarding thing.
Okay. And what about when, like, let's say you're in the middle of filming a course and it's a bit of a grind? How do you keep it fun during the grind?
I just tell myself I have to do it because I have this end goal that I'm aspiring to achieve. And I had this spirit. So when I was in Russia, we had to stay there longer than I expected. And I feel really bad in winter, like when it's snowing. And St. Petersburg is this weird town where you have only, I think it's 60 days of sunshine per year. So it's mostly dark, especially in the winter. And I got so depressed and I didn't want to create any videos. I thought I would just lay in bed all the time. And I had exactly the same situation with my channel, Lingua Marina, a couple of years ago when the videos weren't taking off. And I was like, maybe I should stop because I don't feel rewarded and people are not watching. And I told myself, instead of just giving up, let's do 3 or 2 videos a week at least. I was doing 1. And 5 videos didn't perform, but the 6th video, it performed like crazy. And that year, my channel got 1 million new subscribers just because of that video.
Nice.
And I just discovered this topic that people were looking for. And now, so whenever I have this feeling of stopping, I actually make myself work harder and do more experiments because I end up finding the right thing. And I realize this is something I love doing, like creating videos. And it's just a matter of navigating through all of my ideas.
How do you feel about experimenting versus staying in your lane? Do you feel scared when you do an experiment, or like what's the feeling?
Yeah, I feel scared, but I try to do as much research as possible. Like I was so scared about releasing my investing video and because I just started investing myself and I was basically just doing ETFs and that's it, like very basic investing. And I got some hate and I got some professional investors kind of exposing me in their videos, which is kind of fun because how can you expose a YouTuber who says that they just started investing or whatever? Yeah. But yeah, and so I realize I'm comfortable talking about the topic when I know 100% that I've done my best, I've done my research, I'm not like relying on some source that I can't trust. Yeah. And this way I'm fine experimenting because I know even if I get some hate, I will be okay with it because it's just, so I know the resources. I think that's the key.
Nice. Oh, that's cool. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Can you recommend a book on like that help you stay focused? Because I feel you just read a lot. I'm going to read the book about working with personal assistant, but something about the focus and like not being distracted by people around you doing cool stuff all the time.
Yeah, I feel like I've never really found a book that's been massively helpful in that regard. I think my quote secret is just this thing of just having fun in the stuff that I'm doing, and I find that when I can talk myself into having fun, then I don't need to worry about the fact that my phone's on the table or that people are around me or anything like that. So I do like Austin Kleon's stuff. This book, Keep Going.
Keep Going. Nice.
10 Ways to Stay Creative in the Good Times and the Bad. This is nice. It's very uplifting. Nice. I have his like trilogy of this one, Show Your Work, Steal Like an Artist, and Keep Going on my desk at all times. So nice. If I'm in need of inspiration, I just pick up one of them, open it to a random page, and I find what I'm looking for usually.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm going to incorporate that in my daily life as well. Thank you so much. That was really, really useful. And I'm so jealous of your mic because I have the same one, but I didn't get the right cord for it. No. Yeah, I need an XLR for my cloud thing. Yeah, but can't wait to start using it. Thank you so much, Ali. Hoping to meet you in person when you're in California.
Yeah, man. It'll be fun when I come over to, LA.
Yeah, maybe in
whatever.
London, because we go there. We used to go there every year for
Sick.
work.
Yeah, hit me up if you're ever in London. I'm sure I'll be around.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.
Sweet.
It was
It's been
great
great
talking
chatting.
to you.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye.